Uh, the city disputes them. The treasurer was looking into that. There's also a indebtedness in the amount of $58,909.56. The city has been paying on this. This is for Arkansas wage withholding tax. The city's been paying on that, and it's far less than that amount. But they filed a certificate of indebtedness dated July 22nd, 2024, in which the city has been making arrangements on. And then there's a delinquent tax notice. As you all are aware, we are a municipality, and as a municipality, we are tax exempt. However, the Helena Regional Phillips County Phillips Hospital Corporation has been paying taxes to the county in the amount of 144,264, which has not been paid. We're trying to resolve that issue as well. I spoke to the municipal league. I received this today, and that's why you're getting it. I received it this morning at about 11:30, and I immediately contacted the mayor and all of the administration. And the municipal league also, because we settled with the county for $150,000 for past due jail fees, if y'all remember, that has not been paid. And we were trying, municipal league was trying to work out what to do about the 144,000. We don't believe that we owe it, but what all of this is on the agenda tonight for is my discussion with the Stoner today was that anything that we don't owe, we're just leaving escrow to try to work it out, but we're trying to resolve all the liens so we can close. And so we were needing the council to be aware of this and approve us going forward with closing. And potentially these funds may be put in escrow, and we will pay those. But we need to go ahead and so we can finalize, because under the contract we're supposed to close by the end of this month. And so that's where we are. I did meet with the mayor, the chief of staff today. I met separately with the city treasurer and city clerk, and also with the closing agent and with Kyle Stoner. And so this is just an update as to where we are. But Friday, the 31st, is the potential closing date. But without the council approval of us going through and withholding this from the 2.4 million, we can't close. So we're asking for y'all to approve that. Let's go forward. And then what we're doing, Mr. Turner is working behind this East Contact State of Arkansas. I've also reached out to Amy Green, the county attorney, relating this $144,000 because the city shouldn't have to pay any taxes because city is tax exempt. But we're trying to resolve all those issues. But the primary thing is we're trying to get it closed, and we don't want the delay. Do you have any questions for you?
So who's paying these taxes before?
It says the bill is sent to Phillips Hospital Corporation in South Lake, Texas. I don't know if they were paying it or if the Helena Health Foundation were paying, but somebody was paying it. I don't know why, because the city owned it. It's $144,284.08 that's past due.
Well, who's going to end up paying the $144,000?
Yeah. The city is tax exempt.
Yeah.
And so what we were saying to clear that up is they would hold it and leave it in escrow while we work this out, because we're tax exempt. The law is clear on that. The city is tax exempt.
Yeah. They're looking for that $144,000.
The county is.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. The county should have never been billed $144,000 because we've always been owners of the building. Part of it is the way it was done and the clandestine manner it was done. Had they been open so the people would know that the city owned it, they would have never got billed for it. And so they've been paying taxes to the county for all these years when the city was owner. But at this point, the discussions that we've been having with St. Columbia is approve this, and we're still not agreeing to pay it, but we can hold it in escrow while we try to get this sorted out. But we need to get off the stopping point, or else we can't close.
Is this an additional escrow in addition to the?
Yes, this is separate. This closing escrow. The other escrow we're talking about was relating to the $600,000 that you've already agreed to relating to.
This is another $100,000 escrow.
Okay, the $600,000 that you
Yes,
previously already agreed.
Yes, sir.
They said at the time that that it was hidden from them that there was roof repair, and that people who owned it, city, people who were in charge of it, all the other leaseors, they were aware that the roof needed repairing and they had approximately $600,000 in repairs needed, but it was hidden from them. So to move
We
forward,
don't have to pay
what this body agreed was take that $600,000, put it in escrow,
Okay.
and that takes it from 3 million down to 2.4 million.
I understand.
The city is exempt from paying the tax.
That's
right?
correct. That's correct.
They can't bill us for it. No.
That's correct. So we're not agreeing to pay it, but what we're asking for is the city council agrees for us to close, and that also to be put in escrow while we.
When are we supposed to close this thing?
Friday. That's what
Okay,
I'm saying.
but the question is, I have a reason why I'm asking this. So, but the question is, this is gonna be the 58, 990, 56?
Really,
There's
that's,
another escrow for this?
no. The 58,000, that's not escrow. That's what the state is in the, what it says and filed on July 22nd, 2024,
Okay,
is that we're withholding taxes that were due to the state, and the state filed a certificate of indebtedness with Phillips County, showing that the city of Helena-West Helena was indebted and wage withholding to it in the amount of $58,990.56.
so I contacted someone, Helena Health Foundation. We did not pay taxes. It's Helena Health Foundation. We did not pay taxes.
Understand?
So I don't know where this bill came from or what they're doing.
Well, Mr. Miller, this hasn't, I mean, in actuality, the city of Helena has not been billed. The city of Helena, West Helena, is not,
Okay, I understand.
it's not been billed.
And so this came from,
You haven't been billed.
The city of Helena, West Helena is tax exempt.
Is
That's
this-
not a
this is-
lien against the city of
so
Helena,
this is
West Helena.
progressive.
This is
Then
what says,
This says Phillips Hospital Corporation, which the city previously had a contract with, from South Lake, Texas.
Okay,
It appeared that that entity was paying taxes to the county.
okay.
And because of this outstanding indebtedness, when they began to take us towards close,
Mhm.
researching were there any liens and doing their due diligence,
Mhm.
what they found with this outstanding tax debt.
Okay,
As city attorney, as mayor, city treasurer, city clerk, we all are saying we are tax exempt,
okay.
and the city doesn't know it. However, for purposes of closing, we're saying while we work that out, let's move forward with the closing and let's hold this in escrow so that we can move forward, so we can
Okay.
get it resolved.
What about these first 2 pages?
The first 2 pages, the first one, I've been talking to the city treasurer, you had a construction surcharge of $1,359.77. That, is my understanding, has been cleared. The city treasurer was trying to get the release.
I have it.
Yes, so that's been released. They haven't filed, the state hasn't filed the release, that's been paid. The other, the 58,000, it has been reduced to approximately 20,000, exactly 18,000. It is passed to taxes. They're going to update,
Payroll tax.
yes, they're going to update that with the closing agent, but they could not talk to the state until the city gave them authorization. They called us today, we gave them authorization, and they have it. Let's say, Columbus, this is due diligence in any closing.
Well, when you say work it out, so in the process of working it out, if it's not worked out, does that mean that we have to take yet another loss of $144,000?
We don't owe it.
I mean, I hear you saying we're putting it in escrow, but doesn't that mean that that money's held aside until closing? And are we gonna get this back? I mean,
Our position is gonna get it back. What I said earlier, that's a good question. We owe the county $150,000 for a separate reason.
Okay.
We owe them for the jail fees.
Okay.
And the municipal league and I were talking, the municipal league trying to immediately contact the county attorney. And they're trying to work that out as well, because we're trying to get this done to correct all indebtedness that the city has relating to this. I have not been able to speak to the county attorney, Amy Green. I called her today and haven't been able to talk to her yet. But we just got the due diligence notice today. And so when we got the due diligence, this is what it is. And I immediately started calling everyone, trying to get all of our ducks in a row to move towards closing. So we dispute the 144,000. For purposes of closing, if they would hold it in escrow, then we can move forward. And we still would be disputing this because as a municipality, we're tax exempt. So to answer your question directly, we would get this 144,000 back. However, you've already obligated yourself to $150,000 to the county, or for a separate reason.
Huh.
For the sake of the public, anytime there's a transaction of property or warranty deed, we have to have what's called clear title, which means that all liens and all indebtedness has to be taken care of, so it was not transferred with the property. If we don't clear up anything, it would be cloud of the title, and we don't want cloud on the title. As to do a warranty deed, you literally are giving a warranty to the person you're giving it to that everything is proper and in order, and you can sue me if it's not proper in order. And so the reason why I'm saying let's go ahead and do it is so we can take all cloud off of the title and we can transfer it and go forward, and we still can fight this issue. You're not giving away the 144,000. What you're doing is setting it in escrow, and then we're gonna work out the other part. That's all we're doing. Now, Mr. Messina's a real estate agent. His sister is here. She's a real estate agent. You can ask either one of them. They're aware that you got to. Mr. Etheley here is an attorney. Chief of staff and attorney. You handle land transactions all the time. You got to give clear title. They're paying $3 million. 600,000 was previously voted on by the city council because Progressive was told that everything was in order, but then they discovered later after they did their due diligence that there was an issue with the roof and the other issue. And so for any remediation, we agreed to set aside $600,000 to correct any hidden issues. If it doesn't get to that amount, the city would get what's left. If it goes over the amount, it doesn't matter.
So when we made a deal with the buyer, that if there's a problem with the property, we're gonna put up $600,000 in escrow to correct it.
Correct. They gave us a detailed 45-page document that showed all the issues that were there. They were told that was initially none, but part of it with the roof estimate by itself was $700,000.
How much?
700.
We only approved 600,000.
Correct. But they said that they found approximately 1.2 million, 1.5 million worth of things that need correcting. And so that's how we came.
None of this is making any sense to me. I'm just a little businessman. I don't know.
What do you mean that is making no sense?
All this money just boggling. Here at the last minute, they come up with this $144,000.
Let me pause so I can address the last minute.
I don't know who this is.
Yeah.
Who this is Phillips Hospital Corporation. Nobody at the foundation knows who this is.
Phillips Hospital Corp.
Helena Region.
They were owned by a corporation called Phillips Hospital Corporation. That's who sold to Progressive. Those are the corporate entities.
Okay.
Right. The issue is when you're buying property, sometimes the liens and all those things don't come to pass until someone does the due diligence and searches to do a title search to see if there's any liens, to see if there are any judgments, to see what is on the property. And that's all this is they've gone through and done due diligence. And now they're saying we have these three issues that we would like the city to address prior to closing.
If I may, and I know I'm an employee, but this is the only question. Do you want to get the $2.1 million Friday or soon after, or do you want to wait 2, 3, 4 months until they work out this lien to get 2.4 million?
But
That's the practical question.
Is that guaranteed? I mean, is that guaranteed? You know, we were supposed to have had a deal at the beginning of last year.
I understand.
And then And then now Progressive, they came to Helena Health Foundation and they asked us for a loan. So I'm concerned.
Well, I understand, but
Yes, the deal is straight, but I don't want us to invest money in something that we wind up holding the bag.
at this point, you're trying to close,
I understand.
and you got a third party, Phillips County, claiming that you owe them money. This is not
Yeah, but
progressive.
we don't pay any tax.
This is not progressive doing. This is Phillips County's doing. Your tax assessor, your tax collector has placed this lien on your property. St. Columbia, what you said is correct. I understand that. But I didn't put it on.
Get it worked out. I don't want them pressuring us. I don't think.
What pressure? You've been trying to sell a hospital for 2
Friday.
years.
Sir?
You've been trying to sell a hospital for 2 years. Who trying to
Do it.
not the buyer? This is the closing agent saying you can't close unless you either pay this $144,000 or escrow it. That's all this is. And you need to escrow it and move on.
I think the question is given in the way Mr. Valley posed it. He says it's about whether you want to close it now, do you want to close it later? The question is bigger than that. The question is, regardless of $144,000, do you want to close it at all?
I'm not sure.
I mean, do you want to sell it or do you not want to sell it? If we don't want to sell it, then
We all agreed to sell it. That's not the question.
yeah, it is because the $144,000 is going to be an issue between the city and the county and the state, right? Okay, for me, we don't pay sales tax, like we don't.
That's right. We don't.
I understand that
That's
part.
clear to me too.
I understand that part. So for me, it doesn't matter. You can give me 144,000, next month. I don't care about the 144,000. But if I care about the 144,000 and I don't get it, am I not going to sell it? That's the ultimate issue. I'm not going to sell it over $144,000. See what I'm saying? That's the ultimate issue. If it never gets worked out, if they stand on, we got principle because of this reason, that reason, even if they make it up, and having to go through some are you going to sell it or not sell it? If you're going to sell it, sell it. If you're not, don't. But if $144,000 is the deal breaker, then you just make that decision. I'm either selling it or not selling it. I mean, we've amended, we've made agreements along the way because things came up that weren't anticipated in the beginning. And at every turn, we said, well, okay, we'll do this, we'll do that. But if this is the deal breaker, this is the deal breaker. Then do it or not do it, is my point.
By us putting that money in escrow, okay?
Yeah.
That means they don't give us that $144,000. They're gonna hold it out. They're gonna
Exactly.
keep it.
Exactly.
What assurance do we have we're gonna ever get it?
None.
That's what I mean.
Exactly. So if the $144,000, like
We're
I
gonna
said,
lose.
if that's the deal breaker, then make it be the deal breaker and break the deal.
To me, that is somewhat of a deal breaker because we went from 3 million down to 2.1. And now, and I know that may seem petty, but it just seems as though we're taking what was a steal at 3 million and we're taking a huge discount. Now that's just my opinion.
Hold on, hold on, wait. The hospital before appraised at $1 million. That's what they last offered us, $1 million.
That was not the appraisal. That's what they offered.
That's what when they did the appraisal, that's what the appraisal came back as $1 million. But
that was a bad appraisal, remember?
I don't know that
Yeah,
to be sure.
It was a bad appraisal because they didn't include. I'm aware of that from the Health Foundation. They didn't include it. They didn't include any of the property. They didn't include any of the holdings or any other.
See, I understand, but see that's how this community has worked for years. You're privileged to something I'm not privileged to. I didn't know that. And see, and when we can stop that, being certain people being privileged to things and other people are not, I'm the head of the table. And I just didn't know that. That's what kind of got this community still at a dividing point. We're so divided that something. But my thing is this:
What's the appraised value of the property?
Well, the real appraised value is actually around 3.4. Then I think we took it for about 3.
I don't know.
Here's the practical issue. The practical issue is this. you don't have a long line of people that's going to line up to buy this property. And the next issue is it has a very specific use. I think that you all are not seeing the bigger picture in this sense. We've agreed to sell it to Progressive. Progressive has now to a point where we're about to close. The escrow is not from Progressive. The escrow is, we're trying to work this out to try to move forward off of this. This is not Progressive's 144,000. The chief of staff correctly stated, this 144,000 comes from across the street. It comes from the county, who they should have never. They have the title. They know that the city is the person who owns the hospital. It's,
They need to have a meeting with the county and tell them they need to take this deal off, because nobody on the Health Foundation knows anything about this. They don't even know who this company is.
well,
We've never paid taxes either.
Right. What we're trying to do, because here's the thing, we can't. We're trying not to come back and have a whole nother city council meeting
I understand.
to try to resolve this issue. What we're trying to do is try to get it resolved, go forward. The city does not agree that it owes $144,000. We don't agree. Nobody at the table that we owe that. But the issue is we need to pass clear title. And that's what I've stated earlier, that I tried to call the county attorney to get it cleared up, and I was not able to reach it. I just called today because I just got the information today. We're trying to work through the process. And all that we're asking for from you all is to approve, to go forward so we can close. If you're not willing to do so, then okay, we're not gonna sell the hospital. Let's move forward.
One final thing. As you mentioned, there's a realtor in the back of the room, and she asked me to remind each of y'all, we don't have nobody else who want to buy the hospital.
But you know.
Well, I can.
Well, that's what I say about my children. I got no more that I know of, but I'm sure I ain't got no more.
Well, I'm gonna say this.
And the point is that there's nobody standing in line to buy this hospital. If there were, they would have come to you by now, offered you a better deal, quicker financing, paid cash, or done something. They have not done that. And the problem tonight is not the hospital's creation. It's not Progressive. The other thing, you have to understand that you have allowed the hospital to be altered in terms of its ability to sell. It is a different institution than it was when they came to us. It's now a rural RAH, whatever that is.
Supposedly, but we found out that they didn't get that classification. And they said that they were going to be nonprofit, and they're not nonprofit. They're still operating as a for-profit hospital.
So
You see what I'm saying? So there's trust issues and there's credibility issues and what they told us and what they've done. I'm not shooting the messenger. I'm just saying.
Well, I understand. But
I understand everybody's frustration.
yes.
What I'm looking for tonight to see, hey, ain't nobody knocking down this door to give us nothing. These folks ready to close. Said you don't want it. Go, just do that. But right now, we got millions of dollars that we need. Okay. And let's do that. You can talk about this some other time. Right now, let's get this money.
Well, let's see if it
happens. But we can't be so negative. If they're at the table saying they're ready to close, let's close. Let's see where it goes. That's what they say.
But we can't see what will happen. We can't see what will happen Friday unless you guys approve to put the 144,000 in escrow. We will never see. Just like we would never get to this point if we hadn't gotten that tank up out of the ground for $28,000. You have to do everything that you have to do to make this deal go forward. All they're saying is put up $144,000, and it's not Progressive that's doing it, it's the county. And we are sitting here saying that the city, everybody in this room knows that the city is taxed. I don't know what the big deal is. The city is taxed.
So is there a motion?
We don't owe $144,000
to move forward.
Is this going to be clarified to state that this escrow specifically for the?
If you put that in the motion, we can clarify. Put that in the motion. We can do that.
I might can go with that because, but I don't want to see it exhausted into something else.
You want to put that in motion form? We can get a set. We've been well on our way. Ms. Davis, if you put it in motion, Ms. Davis, set.
I say, okay, I say we will put in escrow the amount for the delinquent tax notice, pending, I don't know what, Don, you got the legal work. Pending, discussion and investigation that these funds be used specifically for the escrow of this document.
Okay.
That's a terrible motion. But that's,
So for clarity, the motion is, as relates to the delinquent tax notice, that the $144,268, $264.08 will be placed in escrow separately, and that you're approving the other two certificates of indebtedness to be taken out of the closing fees. Is that correct?
that these funds be earmarked specifically for this.
And the
But
fund,
maybe the escrow is basically saying that, I don't know, I'm not a lawyer.
yes, sir.
Ms. Davis, you agree? Any discussion?
Well, let's read the motion to me.
Tell him to state it again.
Say it again.
The motion is to escrow the delinquent tax notice that was presented regarding Phillips Hospital Corporation in the amount of $144,264.08. Escrow that separately, and to approve the closing with this deduction of the certificate of indebtedness to the state of Arkansas.
Is that your motion?
Any discussion? Madam Clerk, would you please?
If they don't come through Friday, I'm gonna say this publicly, we'll know that these people are a Ponzi scheme. If they don't pay on Friday, we'll know. Because it's looking like a Ponzi scheme.
Second.
Ms. Davis, second. I read clarification. Was motion by Dr. Miller and second by Ms. Davis.
Madam Clerk, before you follow up, I just want to say this right fast. To listen, audience, and to you all around the table, before this happened, I talked to Baptist. Baptist told me that this was a good deal. They were not interested in us. I talked to UNMS. They said they were not interested in us. They said time has passed, and the CEO of Baptist told me to give him a call once this deal was done. So once this is done, I'll let him know. Madam Clerk?
Let's see if we got the motion.
Okay, what the city attorney said was to escrow the $144,264.08 and to approve the sale, the closing, and with the certificate of indebtedness to be paid separately to the state of Arkansas.
Yes.
Just separate thought, remind the people who handle money, we last year moved to place this money in a separate account.
Yes, sir.
We placed $1 specifically for the construction of the well. Well's already been constructed, but we may have some indebtedness associated with that. And I just want to reiterate that.
Say that again.
We passed a motion last year to
Last year.
place the proceeds from the hospital sale in a separate account. 1 million was dedicated towards the construction of the new well. The well has already been constructed, but we burned through most of our CD to pay for it. So we have some things we need to replenish on that side, so that we can, I want to know what we do with the money.
Right.
Hey, Don, was there any part of that, of the grants and loans involved in that, or was that a matching?
So the million for the well, that was all water.
Yes, sir.
So that's why.
Yeah, we pay for that in cash.
That was
Okay.
all cash.
That was all
CD.
cash.
So that's what Mr. Anthony, the motion that he made last year was that once we get this money to pay that.
We anticipated paying for it from the hospital sale. The hospital sale never came, so we started cashing in
Right.
CDs and,
Okay. Thanks for clarification.
Ms. Davis? Mr. St. Columbia?
Yes.
Dr. Miller?
Reluctantly, yeah.
Mr. Messina?
Yes.
Mr. Etherly?
yes.
Ms. Miller? 6 yes.
Okay. If we could skip around just briefly, I think this can go quickly. We can go to page 93. It's on the landfill. On 93 is the minutes of the East Arkansas Regional Solid Waste District Board meeting for December the 19th. And what I really want you to see is the top of page 95. They propose getting us to raise our tonnage charges from right now it's $40 a ton to $42.50 this year, 45 the first of next year, and 47.50 the next February.
95.
95.
Yes, top of page 95, Mr. St. Clair.
95.
Yeah. But between the meetings, Mr. St. Clair, you finna switch to page 97. There was an interim study done, and they found that those fees were too low. And so what you see here is Republic Fee for Service at top page 97, where out of the county, they're charging basically $47.44. They also found that Mississippi County, Blytheville, charged $48 and Craighead County, Jonesboro, is charging about $48 a ton for waste, and that's just the eastern Arkansas areas. You may recall that we have two landfills in the 6-county area, one in Helena-West and the other in West Memphis. The 6 counties are Phillips, Lee, St. Francis, Cross, Crittenden, and Poinsett. Those are the 6 counties. Those 6 counties, under the old regulation, were required to deposit their waste. The north 3 counties went to West Memphis, and the south 3 counties came to Helena. Under the new regulation, essentially not a regulation, it's just an agreement. Essentially, the people in the 6 counties can go to either of those 2 landfills. So that's a change. And that's something basically we outvoted on. We got a vote of our mayor and the county judge, and the county judge does not attend the meeting. And it's about 14, 15 people around the table. So we lost on that issue. So going to page 99, it's the start of the proposed contract, and we need the council to approve the mayor entering into this contract. The terms are fairly standard. The city attorney was at the last meeting where this was discussed, as was Ms. Tammy Simpson from the landfill and Mr. Reginald Wilson of the landfill. But if you go to page 103, at the top of that paragraph 4, it's got rates and charges. And so those rates and charges again reflect the $42.50, the $47.50, and the $45 that I mentioned was in the minutes. And so because they just met this month, they brought a contract yesterday that changed those numbers, and that's going to be the only difference in the contracts. And I don't believe I got a copy of it to you, but it changed that number to $48 for the first year, $50.50 for 2026, and $53 for 2027. And those are caps. That is, you do not have to raise your rates to that number. You can't exceed that number. And what they want you to do is, if you're going to raise your rates, that you do it by September of each year, so that they'll have an opportunity to adjust their budgets for the forthcoming year. And so we'll be able to make some minor adjustment this year, and then next year you can go up as high as the $50.50 per ton. Right now we're charging $40 per ton. And one of the things that we, as a community, failed at is the last contract was signed by Mayor Jay Hollowell. It was a 5-year contract. At the 2.5-year mark, we could have raised our fees to $40 per ton, and we failed to do that. This board raised those as effective February of 2024, and that contract expired in December 2024. They just been extended it to deal with these new rates. And so we want to make sure everybody's aware and that we have some mechanism in place to where we raise the charges as we need to, such that we can be solvent at our landfill. And so what the ask is tonight is that you permit the mayor to enter into this agreement with Solid Waste Management District where we will charge no greater than what is allowed under the contract. Right now, we're charging $40 per ton. And at some point, you'll be asked by the mayor administration to raise that. That's not what this is. This is just permission to enter into a 3-year contract, not 5, just 3.
This is a 3-year.
It's a 3-year contract that allows you to raise your rates up to $48 right now, up to $50.50 in 2026, and up to $53 in 2027 if you so choose. And if you need a larger increase, you can go in with the actuarial studies and ask the board for a larger increase at any point. But this is just the agreement so that everybody have a mutual understanding.
Yeah.
And we've gotten pledges from St. Francis County and Lee County that they will bring their waste to Phillips County. All things being equal, it's shorter for them to come here than to go to West Memphis.
We need to stay competitive, and we need to do business with them. Mr. Mayor, I understand that there was an inspection of our landfill in January. Are you aware?
No, not aware of that.
Somewhere I've seen a copy of a letter that was sent to the city of Helena, showing that our inspection was held and was not very good. Are you not aware of that?
I'm not aware of that.
I hadn't seen it, but
I
I can look it up and certainly can figure out what it is.
January the 7th of this year, they inspected our landfill. You're
Yes,
not
sir.
aware of that inspection?
No. But landfill inspections are always tough, November to March. You know, it's wet, it's all kinds of bad conditions. That's not making an excuse. But
and that's again information of privilege to certain people. I'm the head of the table, and I'm the head of the table, and I don't know that. But what I will say, that's that. But these fees that we're asking about will better help our landfill. So I'll figure out that later. But right now, I want to talk about these fees where they need to be, so our landfill can make the money it needs to make. So we can talk about this some other time. Right now, we're talking about these fees, and hopefully, I'll adopt them.
Now, one thing about it, I think it's a good contract. It's basically the same as all other contracts, with that one issue about the flow control. For those of you who are hesitant about the flow control, historically, ever since consolidation, the city has had an issue with flow control with the solid waste district. We paid private contractors. We paid inspectors. We paid other people to follow it. We filed all kinds of complaints with the solid waste district. And Mayor Smith even hired an attorney that you all approval about the flow control. And what we found was when the solid waste district initiative did the contracts, they didn't properly publish the regulations, and so the regulation was not enforceable. So it's no need to pretend that it's enforceable by contract, and so that's why they're saying, as long as you're within the district, you're fine. So, as the chief of staff has said, you can go up to $48, but that's not advisable because now you're in basically competition with each other between Crittenden County and here, and we just have to have the better landfill and the better rates and all the better service going forward, and that's one of the things we need to do. To piggyback on what the chief of staff said, the reason from October through March is the rainy season. In the rainy season, there are always issues with roads. There are always issues with debris and all those things because it's so muddy. And that's a commonality. The issue is you have not gotten to a point where you're on any stage where you're in danger of anything. I've been doing this a long time. I've been here when the city of Helena was Helena, when it was just West Helena, the landfill was shut down. I know it's a very long, tenuous process. One report does not put the city in any jeopardy. Whatever remediations need to be done, I'm sure the mayor, Mr. Wilson, and everyone else there will remediate those issues and we'll get back. As you remember, when we first started, there was no equipment at the landfill. Landfill was in horrible shape. There was debris all over the road that was dumping outside the cells. And so the city has spent a lot of time trying to get this corrected. So we will continue to move forward. I haven't seen the report either, city attorney. And so whoever gave it to you, they looked up and it must be somebody that used to work at the landfill or something like that, because no one really just goes with that. They gave it to you. Doesn't matter how you got it. That's not the point. The issue is we will move forward and make whatever remediation is necessary. We need to adopt this contract though, because the other contract expires at the end of this month. Also, Chief of Staff said that they just updated, the meeting was just held Thursday for clarity. And so some of you may say, why we just get it? We just had the meeting Thursday. They gave us a draft, but then the final draft that you have now was just done Thursday. And so this is the closest meeting since Thursday. And so this is not something that we're putting in your laps. We just have it. They're trying to get it done before.
Well, I personally have full confidence, and I still call it Chief Wilson. So, I mean, I'd like to go ahead and make a motion that we allow the mayor to move forward.
Contract, is there a second? Ms. Davis, second the motion. Any discussion? Before we vote, I say this, with these rates, things, I push for this to make sure that we can pay for equipment, because $250 goes to solid waste district and the other $250 goes to the state. So I'm pushing for the higher rate so we can better help keep our equipment up to float, because every time you turn around, something's breaking down and we're not making enough money. So it was some of my doing. I'm trying to make sure that we can make sure our landfill floats the way it needs to float. Madam Clerk?
Mr. Etherly,
Yes.
Ms. Miller,
Yes.
Ms. Davis, Dr. Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Messina, Mr. St. Columbia, 6 yes.
Thank you all. I guess return back to the first page. You got citizen participation via Zoom, StreamYard, Facebook, YouTube rules. And from pages 4 through 15, it's basically the emails that have been exchanged between citizens and members of the city council. But last meeting, we didn't go into this because Ms. Maxine Miller, I believe, was spearheading this, and she was not here. And they didn't want to take action without Ms. Miller being here. And the request was for Mr. Elijah Monday to be on the agenda to address this issue. And so, are we ready to take that up at this time?
Yeah.
Mr. Monday. Put that in your way.
No, that's fine. Mayor Franklin, City Attorney Valley, council members, Chief of Staff James Valley. I want to start out by saying, years ago, transportation, you had to use a horse and a buggy, is that right? You had to ride a horse, you had to ride a buggy, and technology has been booming. Now we got cars, we got airplanes, we got all of the things. It's incredible of the technology that is going on. And I'm liking that to this. Years ago, you had a city council meeting, people could not know what was going on, so they had to come here to the city council meeting. And they have to get on the agenda if they want to ask questions, and it could drag out a long time. But what happened was that you, the city council, the city mayor at that time, decided to put the city council meeting on Zoom and YouTube, and it's on Facebook. So people don't have to come to the city council meeting anymore. They can watch it on YouTube, they can watch it on Facebook, they can watch it on Zoom. They can sit there and hear what's going on. Now, that's technology. That's technology. A lot of people can't come to the city council meeting every time they have a city council. People are working, people got things to do. And right now, you could be on your job with your cell phone, you could be anywhere and watch the city council meeting. And what Ms. Miller wants to bring out is that there'll be a short question and answer session at the end of the city council meeting where they could, oh, thank you, where they could actually email in, or what do you call it, Joshua? He's my technical, what's that? What's that? Chat. They could send in questions. So like, for example, tonight, I was listening to the council meeting. I had some questions. I asked attorney. So people are sitting there. And a lot of times I've tuned in, and there are difficult challenges and questions that you all are trying to deal with. And there's certain questions that are not being asked. And I don't have the ability to do that if I can't do what we're talking about doing. So what we've done is that I sent an email as a consultant. Mrs. Miller asked me to be a consultant, asked my son, who is the technical consultant, Mr. Meadows. So we had a meeting and we wrote out everything the way it's all to be. And we sent that to you in an email back on January the 16th. And we sent you one prior to that. I'd like to ask you a question. Have any of you all had a chance to evaluate those emails? Mr. Mayor, have you read the email? Yeah. Have you studied it?
I looked over it.
Okay, have any of the rest of you all had a chance to look at the email, see the basic schematic that Mrs. Miller wants to do? Have any of you had a chance to do that? Who has not had a chance to do that? You haven't? Well, hopefully this don't get bogged down, because this is a real simple thing. You're talking about if the city council meetings start on time, and you all did this time, you're about 2 minutes late. I like that. So I want the city council meeting to start on time. You represent the citizen. This is about the citizens who elected you. And if the citizen with this new technology is given an opportunity where they can watch the council meeting and then they can submit questions. And at a certain time, like for example, if the city council meeting starts exactly on time, like it's supposed to, at 6 o'clock, everybody's here ready to go. So near around 7:30, you might have a 10-minute period where they will send in questions to Mr. Meadows. If he's a moderator, he will get the questions in. And so the chief of staff would say, okay, this is the time now. We got some people who are watching, and they have some questions they want to ask you. And he'll say, okay, this question was, they may ask a question like, well, how much money is this bulldozer going to cost? Okay, they don't have to give the name of the person. Okay, let's go to the next question. Let's go to the next question. About 10, 15 minutes, however much time would allow. And this would be an advantage. This would be a beneficiary to the citizen. This is about the citizen. I mean, technology is here, so take advantage of it. You don't want to be riding a mule. You don't want to be riding a donkey. Yeah, I know there's a lot of things you can be negative about. You can come up with all kinds of reasons. Just like they made airplanes, they said, well, the man was meant to fly. God would have gave him wings. So you can come up with all kinds of excuses not to do something. We could try this, see how it goes, 6 months. If it work out, you're only talking about 10, maybe 15 minutes near the end of the city council meeting, and people can just be submitting questions in. They won't have to speak. They won't speak. They won't say anything. They just submit a question, and the moderator will read the question. And if you can answer it, you answer it. If you can't, you can't. There may be times where you may not get any questions at all. And it's not going to be a problem. I tell you, it's not going to be a problem. It's something new, and I think citizens will like it. So, are there any questions? Mrs. Maxine, you want to say something too?
Well, I did want to encourage, my peers especially to look at the rules and the guidelines that we set out, because what it will not allow is for people to ask personal questions to any one city council member or city official. You will not be able to go and ask questions about something that was in a meeting meeting 2 or 3 meetings ago, it has to be specific to the agenda that we are talking about today. It has to be addressed to the city at large, and it has to be something that's not a personal slander and all of that. I was assured by Joshua that as they do on YouTube, and by the way, you can't be on Facebook or Zoom and ask the question because the only way we can do this would be through YouTube. And so at the top, for those of you who are YouTube fans, there, whenever they do a live feed, there's a pin at the top that gives you the community guidelines and says, okay, this is what you can and cannot do. And I just thought, and it's a suggestion, it would be a way for us to, like I'm going to reiterate that Mr. Mundy said, it would be a way for our community to ask us questions on the spot. Our city, our chief of staff could maybe filter through. Mr. Meadows for sure, Mr. Mundy for sure, Joshua, they can filter the questions. So it's not as though we would be getting a whole bunch of random, non important questions or things that would be difficult or harmful to any of us as a person. And so I just wanted to throw that out there as a possible way to engage our community and allow us to ask those questions and get some information right away. It's just something I would like to try, even if it's only for 1 or 2 meetings. If you guys just say, hey, I really don't like this idea, then we can go back to what we've always done.
Let me just say this also. Whenever you're trying something new, I've been in broadcasting now for 40 years. And I will tell you this now, on all your television, they allow people to send in text message to ask questions. You see that. You watch CNN, MSNBC, watch Fox. People standing there, okay, we have a question for somebody. They answer it real quick and move on. They don't get bogged down in the quagmire or anything like that. And so it's like we're starting this out. This is new. I don't know if any of the cities are doing this, but it'll be it's something new where people, citizens can participate. And so it's going to take time. You know, you're going to have a little bumpy road, just like you do anything. We've had new television programs. It'll be a little bumpy, but then by the time it's over, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. And then citizens can participate. And that's the main thing. This is for the citizen. You're the one that decided you wanted to go to Zoom. You decided you wanted to be on YouTube. It's on Facebook. You made that call. So now you've stepped into this new arena. So now let's take advantage of it and say, okay, since the citizens now can watch it, let me send a question in. Because a lot of times I've had questions when I watched it and I said, man, these questions are not being asked. Sometimes questions are not being asked because you may not think of it. But now I can send in a real quick question, send it in, and it can get answered. It doesn't have to be bad. Well, we can work it out. It can evolve. And I'm just saying, try it for 6 months. If it doesn't work, then go back to business as usual. So, any questions? Anybody got any questions you want to ask? Anything you're afraid of?
I'd like to, I've read your statements and all, and I like the idea. I think that we should give the public an opportunity, but we need to make sure that those people are not living in Marvel or somewhere else. It needs to be citizens of the city of Helena-West Helena to inquire and ask questions, right?
Yeah. And the other thing
I
is,
like the idea.
Okay, the other thing is that when we first consolidated cities, we started carrying the city council on the radio. Mr. Valley approached me about it, but I didn't want to just, because see, I could lose listeners. We sit there and you get bogged down in a quagmire. The city council is boring and all of that, and so people just turn it off. And so he, as the mayor, did a good job of making sure business is being taken care of, moving right along. He says, this is on the radio. We want it to sound good. We want to make people see that we can take care of business. And so Mr. Mayor Valley is here, and he is the chief of staff, and he can help out, move this along. We've told Mr. Meadows if he has a problem or a question, you can turn to the mayor. Is that right, Mr. Mayor? Did you do a good job?
Yes,
Huh? Can you help out?
I do whatever I'm asked to do.
Okay, all right. So what do you think about it? What do you think about it, Messina?
I think it's a good idea.
Okay, what about it, Mayor?
But you got a legal opinion about that.
What?
You talk to the league about this.
Well, let me just
And
say, I'm sorry, go ahead.
And I let the city attorney, but we spoke with the Arkansas Municipal League, and when we went to the winter conference, this came up. Am I correct? I was in one of those sessions where this came up, and I said, "Good." I got something that I encourage anybody to go to the winter conference or the summer conference to figure out these things that goes on. So they brought this up in the session that me and the chief of staff, the attorney was in. Glad so.
Can I, before you say something, let me just say this. You can talk a lot of legal stuff. Now, you do have a jackleg attorney up here. I consider myself as a jackleg attorney, but I'm not like, we got some attorneys here. But I do know you can get in a quagmire. This can happen, this can happen. This is new technology. It's a lot of stuff going on. And you can come up with everything that's negative legally, and it may not even happen. So let's just do it, and if it become a problem, we can kill it.
The league, let the city attorney tell you what we learned. So I don't want anybody to jump in front of the league and say, "Oh, we doing something." City attorney.
Okay, well, hold on 1 second. I can tell you this. I know you all have jumped in front of the league. This city council meeting disagreed with the league, and when you was on the city council, there was a time when you disagreed with the league.
But we're not gonna do that. Let's listen and see. I'm not trying to kill nobody, but what if the league said that's what we're gonna try to follow? But just
so that's a new rule now. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. That's not a new rule. The issue, as I stated before, when you emailed me, I was sitting in the city attorney's meeting with all the city attorneys. You emailed, you made reference to whether I read the policy and etc. I forwarded the email to all the attorneys in the Municipal League, and they reviewed it, and they shared the same thoughts that I said as an attorney. It opens up Pandora's box on freedom of speech. And the issue is, everybody's like, well, we don't want this, we don't want that. But the issue is, if someone doesn't allow someone to ask a question, their opportunity for freedom of speech may be limited, and thereby creating a potential lawsuit against the city. Municipal League, Arkansas Municipal League is a risk management group. They cover us. They provide legal defense for civil rights infractions. We pay them $3,000 per case, and they defend, and most of them are 50-50 coverage. Some of them, they pay more than 50%. But they're the ones who will be defending any potential violation. And we all were reminded of when the chief of staff came here, he was shut down by Kevin Smith, and he had a right to sue, but he didn't sue. Thank him for not suing the city. But the law is so clear when the opportunity, if you limit somebody's speech in that opportunity, then they may be able to sue. The issue is everyone is well intentioned. I understand that transparency is good. You're in city council meetings. We're probably one of the most transparent city councils there is. You're on Zoom. You're on YouTube. People usually are not. They go to city council meetings. We're one of the few that's out there. You can go back and look at all of our meetings. In fact, people go back and look at them. And Mr. Lee, when we have lawsuits, they go back and say, "What day was your meeting?" And they watch it because you're transparent. This body, you're all very transparent. The issue is, maybe the better thing to do is for them to say, "Hey, text the city council meeting while they're here, or email the city council meeting while they're here." So the city council member can decide whether they want to talk. But as a body, once we open up the floor and we say, well, St. Columbia raised the point, well, they got to be citizens of Helena-West. And they say, well, I'm a citizen of state of Arkansas. What do you mean? Why I got to be a citizen of Helena-West to talk to you? And I said, why I'm a citizen of Phillips County. This issue may affect me. So why can't I address it? And so we have all those small nuances that can create problems. It's well-intentioned. Yes, sir, Mr. I'm going to yield in just a second. It's well-intentioned for you to limit speech. The problem with speech is you regulate time regulate matter, we can regulate place, we cannot regulate content. And so, yes, we can say you need to speak on this issue only, and we can limit it. Uh, One of the issues that you have, though, you said in your email that you wanted to give a certain amount of time. How much time is going to be given to even address one question? One person has a question, that question may take 30 minutes. We may not be able to answer it within that forum. And what happens to all the other questions? Because you said we're going to answer all questions during this meeting. We open Pandora's box. Those are the practical issues we're looking at. I think you have a good start, Mr. Monday, Miss Miller. We just need to fine tune it and work with the Mr. League to see exactly, okay, what would you deem to be acceptable?
Okay, now, can I just
Yes.
say this? I disagree with you that this is gonna be a freedom of speech issue. It's not gonna be a freedom of speech issue.
Let me pause for a second.
I'm just saying that,
It's a freedom of speech issue
well,
because it's speech.
who on earth, I've had to deal with things before. Somebody gonna file a lawsuit, how much money that's involved? I think the citizens are gonna like it. It's not gonna be a freedom of speech. Yeah, you can sit down and make a case. We got the president and all the things they argue about the Constitution. You got all the lawyering going on. That could go on for eternity. All I'm just saying is let's just try it. If it becomes a problem, if it becomes a freedom of speech issue, then we can kill it. But let's just try it. I don't think that's gonna be a problem. If the citizens want it and like it, then let's, because I've seen this city council go against the municipal league. I've heard, I can tell you where I heard, they sit up and say, well, that's the municipal league's opinion. I've heard city council members,
Yes,
and I don't want to point out, well, that's the city municipal league. They just give an opinion, they really don't know.
Mr. Monday. All advice that I give, and this league gives, is advice.
Okay,
And clients have the right to go against advice.
okay,
And so, yes, I've seen this as well. I've seen this body go against my advice. I've seen the body go against Mr. Lee's advice. So I think you're correct in that. As it relates to it, I'm not opposed to it from a political standpoint. I'm not opposed to it from an informational standpoint. I'm not opposed to it at all, other than we start. I know I'm a lawyer talking to a layperson, but all of this is speech. And so the Constitution surrounds all of it. Freedom of speech is by virtue of you asking the question. And so we want to make sure that we have a compelling reason to stop them from speaking. And we want to make sure that everybody's treated equally through the whole process.
can I get you to try it? Let's just try this, because see.
It's not up to me to try. It's up to the body. It's up to the body to try.
But I want you to recommend it, because President Trump has an issue that he's put out there now, freedom of speech discussion, and all that stuff getting to court. You get into lawyer fightings and all that stuff you just don't know. I'm just saying, just try it for a few months. If it works out, I just want you to just try it. Let the citizens know. Let the citizens know we're giving our citizens a chance to participate. As it goes along, it can evolve. Okay, let's not do this, let's do that. We can make alterations as we go. But I don't think that's going to be a problem. So I want you to get on the bandwagon and say, okay, let's try it. Will you do that for me?
Okay, if
No,
I can
I'm not going to get on the
intervene,
bandwagon.
if I,
Try.
can I,
Let me pause
can-
for just a second. One thing I wanted to say, and I will yield back to you, Mr. Citizens are participating. They're elected around this table to be their representatives, to be their voice at this table. So our government is a representative government. And when they're elected each person here, they're elected to come here, represent them, speak to them, and they can talk to them all month and say, I have these issues, and et cetera. Now, all I'm saying is what we have to do, there's a legal term that says it has to be narrowly tailored for a particular purpose. And we have to have a compelling statement to limit speech. And so I'm just putting up the guardrails.
Okay.
And I'm telling you legal issues about the guardrails. If city council chooses to do it, they choose to do it. I'm just here to tell you as your legal representative of the issues, the pitfalls you have.
Okay, I appreciate that. I don't think the issues is going to be, I don't think that's going to happen, because I think the citizens are going to enjoy it. They're going to understand the rules, and I don't think you're going to have anybody going to the Supreme Court or the courts. I mean, that's a lot of money involved. If the people like it, after we get this going, and once we work out the bugs and the kinks, and the people like it, so I mean, why not try it? We haven't got anything to lose. So can I make a motion that we do it?
No, you
Okay,
can't make a motion.
here's, well, let me,
Can I get a?
let me just say this. Randy, I do want to, because you've worked so hard. You, Mr. Meadows, Joshua, I mean, I appreciate everything. What perhaps we need to do is to um, table this for right now. And maybe we can talk to the municipal league and ask them, because I don't understand why we could not still take questions, even if we don't answer them in the meeting. Is there not a way to take the questions that our citizens have and at least, you know,
I think you take whatever question you want to take. It's up to you whether to answer the question. Uh, the issue is too. The practical issue is, someone asked a question. Are you saying you're committed to answer all their questions?
well,
Are you saying that we're going to answer every question that's done?
well, see, Attorney Valley, here's the thing. We have people on Zoom, or I mean, on YouTube who are asking questions right now. And we're not addressing any of those questions
Exactly.
at all.
You treat everybody the same. You're addressing none.
Hmm.
Come, first serve basis, they understand that. The first come, first serve basis, and you understand what the rules are. And I'm just saying, I mean, I already know, we go back down that path, the minutes are just gonna drag out and drag out, just like we
Right.
always have.
Well-
Let's just try it.
Here's one of the things that you may want to start by doing is, if they have questions about something, why don't you do a low take? If you want to address questions, uh, anybody can say, hey, I'll take 3 minutes to address whatever questions that want to be asked of me for my ward. But the issue is, they probably want those in writing before you even get to the meeting. And instead of, they want to do that. Right now, you don't have a citizen's comment or citizens' availability to talk on the agenda at this point. And then the rules that were just passed, we don't do it. I wasn't trying to get ahead of Ms. Miller, wasn't trying to get ahead of you, but at the first meeting, we have to determine what our meeting rules are going to be. And so that's why we addressed the issue in her absence. It was not about this issue. It's about how do people get on the agenda, when are they able to speak, and whether they're able to speak. That's something that's standard in every first meeting of the year. Some city councils say, hey, at the end of the meeting, everybody, all the people, we will address issues in our ward.
See, that's not even, all the I'm just saying, sitting right there, people already sitting in person and comments and stuff. All it is, he takes, okay, we're going to do our audience to understand. There's a time limit. We're going to get to first questions, on a first come, first served basis. Okay, here's the questions about how much is it going to cost to buy a truck. Okay, let's go to the next question. How much? And you're not interfering with their speech. You're not interfering with that.
Let me pause. To answer that particular thing, what city council can do is say, we're going to limit this to 15 minutes or 20 minutes. We're going to limit discussion of each question 2 minutes per question. If you want to do something like that.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, but as it relates to the time frame that's certain for everyone, how you want to address a speech in particular detail, they only get this long. The issue with that, though, the practical problem with that is still going to be, if the question takes 30 minutes to answer,
Well,
that's a practical problem.
I don't think, generally the stuff come in, it don't like I had a question tonight, I asked James. He gave me an answer right away. You can ask questions that don't take that long. It's just a simple question. I mean, when you say, well, it's going to take 30 minutes to ask, you say, well, how much is a truck going to cost? You got to spend 30 minutes trying to answer that question. Something is wrong. I mean, the thing is, you're going to know it if you can't answer the question. So we don't know the answer to it, we'll get back with you. So it's a simple thing. Just ask a simple question. Simple. And it's not going to be a freedom of speech issue. That's not going to happen.
Well,
and let's just try it and do it. And if after 3 months, if it ain't working, then kill it. So I'll make that motion.
What we would do, I will give Ms. Lee tomorrow. We have a council meeting next week. We can put on the agenda next week. We can further flesh it out for next week. I've sent them the email. They told me in person that they didn't agree with the idea. We will see what we can flesh out what they may agree with, and we'll get back with you on Tuesday.
But if they don't agree with it, then you're just wasting your time getting with them again. I'm just saying that I know that this city councilman did not take the advice of the municipal league
Here's the
many
one
times. Let's just try it.
Yes, sir. Here's one thing I want to say.
Okay.
I think one thing that you're growing frustrated with. This is something very particular related to them. They've given us advice on in a general manner, in one specific manner. If we get sued on a First Amendment, they're the ones who are going to handle it. They're the ones who will be paying. And so I think we do need to engage them with further discussion to make sure that we, if they're whatever parameters that they say that they would be fine with.
But did you send our email to them?
I forwarded it to them. John Wilkerson.
I've talked with the municipal league before. I'm just
John
saying-
Wilkerson and Caleb Alexander. I will give you both of them.
Well, all right, well, because there's no problem. Like I said,
Yes, sir.
I'm just saying right now,
Mr.
this is what I'm
Monday,
trying to get over.
I
Can we try it and see, then we'll let the municipal league tweak it as we go along.
Well, I think
Can we do
we
that?
need to, they need to prove whatever before we do it. But Mr. Monday, I will give you both of their contacts this evening. If I can give you their contacts, the office number and the cellular number, and tell them that I asked you to call them.
What about the other city councilmen? Shouldn't they vote on it? At least try
Mr.
it.
Monday, here's one thing you missed. She was about to make most of the table. I said we meet next week. Today is the 28th. We meet the third.
Well, see,
the
we've been
fourth?
dragging this out now for over a month.
Third or fourth? We meet next Tuesday.
Yeah, right.
Fourth.
See, this is what bothers me about sometimes our city council meeting. She weeks and weeks ago, we still dragging this out. There's always some little thing that drags out a meeting and you got a problem, you're tabling it. And I'm just saying, here we go again, so.
Mr. Monday,
You don't wanna do it, okay.
Mr. Monday, I hear your frustration, but we're not dragging this out. The thing about it is, what you want something narrowly tailored, and you want to work out the kinks. You're doing it as a layperson the way you're saying it. What you're saying is, let's just do it, and then come back and fix it. The problem is, you need to do it right the first time. If we put water in a gas tank, the engine's gonna be destroyed, right? And so the thing I'm saying, if we do something wrong on the front end, then the problem is already there.
If I come to every city council meeting, all the things, I can point out all the things you've done wrong for this council. I could do that. So that could go on and, forever and ever. Well, if you do it right, well, there's a lot of things you all do that's not right. There's a lot of things you do that's not right. So, but okay, I'm just saying, all right.
Mr. Monday, I am not chastising you.
No, you're not.
And the thing about it is, all I'm saying is give the people who would have to pay an opportunity to flesh out. They told me verbally, they didn't go through and tell me, well, here are some acceptable options. When I sent them your email that you sent from Mrs. Miller, but they have it in their possession, and I will call them tomorrow. I will give you their contact information for both of them.
You have to wait another few weeks.
Mr. Monday, we said Tuesday. Today is Tuesday, the 28th. We're talking about Tuesday, the 4th.
Okay, can I just ask how the other council members feel about it?
Certainly, feel free.
How do you feel about it, Mr. St. Columbia?
He's dressing you. Right.
Yeah, how do you feel about, I'm just
Well,
saying, how do you feel about it?
I think we need to look into the law. I think he's got a good point. You got an excellent point, but I think we need to make sure that we don't get any lawsuits. I would like a copy of their reply
They hadn't
to
replied.
all the council members.
I don't think there are any law. There's no law to stop it. There is no law.
I don't want to see us get a lawsuit.
Okay, I understand.
I'd rather be cautious than be sorry later on. So you're going to inquire with them tomorrow?
I'm going to inquire with them
I'd like
tomorrow.
a copy of their reply, please.
Yes, sir.
Other council members, I'm sure, would like it.
No problem.
All right.
Problem at all.
I think that I do.
I do a moderation for a nonprofit. On Sunday, I'm like their moderator for their church. And
It's time. It's at the last 5 minutes of service. And if the pastor's message goes long, then you just don't get to ask questions that Sunday. That's how we do it. It's pretty. You do to have time. And if somebody in the moderator, now that was my biggest question: who's going to be the moderator? But because somebody's have to moderate. But if somebody asks goofy questions, you put them in time out. Yeah, so they're on YouTube and that person starts acting get goofy. You put them in time. You can put them in a minute, you 30 minutes, another increment time out, or you can just kick them out. I've had to kick people out to put them in time out if they're dominating the conversation too much, which that might not be so bad anyway for us to have to moderate. If they're dominating too much of the conversation in YouTube, you can shut them down for a little bit. I don't know. I've never watched our YouTube.
We got a good idea. I don't know why we can't questions. We don't have to give them an answer right then. We can give 30 days and we'll give them their answer. In 30 days after the council gets together and go over what the question was. We just don't have to give them the answer right then. You understand that?
No, I understand all of that, but I just thought that simple questions. I don't believe there's no law to stop this because the technology is evolving. I don't think it's going to be a problem with that. Okay. It's a mix up of the law and the law. I want to see a law that says you can't do that. Show me a law that says you can't.
It is.
Well, I'm saying they can give us a question, take the question, and then in 30 days, we'll be able to have the council go over it, come up with an answer that suffices the question.
The question I want to ask, I'll bring it up. One of the councilmen wrote it. You all spent a long time talking about then 2 weeks later, people came in and said, no, we don't want you to do this. So you wasted all that time on the city council meeting. If I had put that question out there, they said, we wasted time. Why don't you do this first before you do that?
Well, maybe we can set of 30 days, we can give them 2 weeks.
Well, this is what I think, Mr. Mundy, when he speaks with the municipal league and we come back on Tuesday and maybe discuss it then. I think we've given a lot of time to this already tonight. I think that's probably where we need to go.
All right, the next item on your agenda is 6B, DeMarcus Borum clarification, opposing request from council members. Question is set for the floor. Just by way of clarification and explanation, when a council member asks for a matter to be placed on the agenda, under your rules, typically you are to place that matter on the agenda. There is no rule for when a council member requests to be placed on the agenda and a different council member requested the same thing would not be placed on the agenda. And that's what we have in this instance. And so the question is, are you going to place it on the agenda for the floor? Are you going to take it up tonight, or you're not going to take it up at all? And I don't even know what the issue is to be taken up.
Well, we had a motion that at the last regular meeting. So, well, and then we were supposed to pick it up in January. We didn't. So we still have that out there. And basically, it was an employee-related issue.
Your voice trailed off. I didn't hear that.
Okay. It was an employee issue related to Mr. Borum that stems back from the last meeting in December. At that meeting, it was tabled. We said we would deal with the issue in January. So now we're in January and still deal with it.
I guess the question is, see if you sound like sure what you all trying to do with tonight. We trying to finish.
Why not? Let's just go
Yeah.
ahead and deal with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's an executive session issue. Probably should be the last thing on the agenda.
Okay.
One thing I want to remind you on today is the 28th. We do not have a budget.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. That's
Budget must be passed on before February 1st of each year.
it's in the packet. So we'll come back to 6B. We can do something we can do quickly. The city got you for an update from the municipal league conference. I think you've given quite a bit of it in response to the citizens' input. There's some handouts that I didn't bring. I'll get those copies. Members of the council.
That'll be fine.
All right. We'll go to item 7. Minutes of the previous meetings. If we turn to page 57, it's type minutes are. Essentially, you approved the minutes, took no action on the city on permission to be placed on the agenda. No action on the page. Vote on the first meeting items. You have to purchase of trucks. You change the signature on how schedule. That's basically what you've done on the minute. Either if you like. Behind, and that's just basically what she would use to build the notes she took in real time at the actual take place council meeting. That's on page 60, 61, 62, 60 of the packet. I didn't hear you. Just 7. Yeah, just set of minutes. 7.
You talking about minutes of
Yes,
the
sir.
last meeting?
Yes, sir.
There is a discrepancy in it.
What's that?
On the airport commission, S. Bagley and D. Knapp, there was a list, that, he wanted to, put, a lot of people on there. About 5, he wanted to make some changes. And not that.
I
He
think
had about 4 or 5. He wanted to do several times.
yeah, that was S. Bagley, D. Knapp, that was John Z. Monday, and there.
Yeah. Ought to be down there.
I just said the motion died for lack of a second.
Yeah.
No action.
But that's the only discrepancy that I see.
So, but you, so it died for lack of a second. Is what I'm
Right.
thinking. If you want us to put those other names, we can do that.
It was a list of about 5 names I think he had, and I opposed it. And you're only showing 2 names. Is it?
Yeah. Yeah. And
I forgot that she made her motion first, so I can't listen to mine until she makes hers.
I mean, do you want to, Ms. Davis, do you want to amend your motion to say with those corrections? Or can make those corrections?
Yeah, the names were Joe Howe, Bill Brothers, Eddie Schiffler, John King, and Laurel Mundy. They're the present ones on there. And he was recommending some others. I don't have the list.
We've named them S. Bagley, D. Knapp, Paul Rydell, John King, and Zipporah Monday.
Yeah.
Those
Five.
are the five.
Yeah, all five need to be listed on there.
Would you like to make a motion to approve the minutes of those corrections?
With that correction.
I say.
A motion to approve the January minutes with the corrections is no. Ms. Davis, Ms. Miller, is there any other discussion? Madam Clerk, would you call roll?
What are we saying?
Motion.
Minutes from the state.
With correction, the minutes of the last meeting.
To approve the minutes with the corrections. No.
Yes. Mr. Anthony,
Yes.
Ms. Miller, Mr. St. Clair.
Yes.
Dr. Miller. 3 yes, 1 abstention, and
Motion passes.
Okay.
It was 4. It was 4. Mr. St. Columbia, Ms. Davis, and
Oh, she said 3 years.
So it should be 4 years.
4 years.
Mr. Messina said no, Ms. Davis said yes, 4 yes, Mr. Anthony said yes, Mr. St. Columbia, and Dr. Miller. Ms. Miller abstained.
motion passed.
All right.
I don't know where you were, so just.
Yes, sir.
Please.
So we're under we're gonna skip the airport. Can we go to item 2? It's for informational purposes, page 66 to 77. That is a copy for you to have of the rules that you adopted for your council meetings. Second line, page 67.
7,
67.
67.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that's it.
Got a copy.
So it was just, I emailed it to you, but I put it back again. All right. So
I made
then
that motion was approved.
you adopted that, so I'm gonna make sure you have a copy of it. Yeah. So then we'll go to, 4 there. It says request permission to bid trash cart and dumpsters. Some of this goes, some of this grows out of a discussion with Alderman St. Columbia and Messina about us needing new trash carts and new dumpsters. And essentially all we ask is permission to bid that. That's not permission to buy.
I asked how many do we need? How many do we think we need to get? And, some idea. And we need to look into it. A lot of people don't have containers.
Yes, sir. So we're at a point where we probably need greater than 90% of them replaced. And that is because most of them that we have were either bought used as replacements of some that we had, or bought during the Johnny Weaver and Dr. Robert Miller administration.
Yeah.
They're that old. And our machine grabs of them and squeezed them and burst the back out of them. It is slammed them down and knocked wheels off of it. It's done all kinds of damage to the residential car. Your commercial car, you pick them up and it's as much falling out as it is being dumped out of you. Putting you on your truck and making your trucks really filthy and nasty. So we need to look at an overall the cost for it. Then we back off of that and
We
do
need to look
something.
to that.
But at this point, we're just asking for permission, in part because you asked us to bid it to see what it's gonna cost.
Motion to.
I so move that we make them, we, look into that matter and see what the cost is gonna be. How many we need and how cost.
Motion by
And
St.
get some
Columbia
bids on
to authorize bidding of the purchase of carts and dumpsters. Second by
The
Ms.
right
Miller.
bidding of it.
Is there any further discussion? Madam Clerk, will you call the roll, please? Yes.
Davis, Dr. Miller, Mr. Messina, Mr. Six.
All right, still, there's nothing attached, so we'll have to it. There's a request for permission to advertise on the side of our refuse trucks. If you recall, the garbage trucks have a big white space on the side of them at the back. And Mr. Messina recommended that we sell space on that to various businesses in town for $100 per month. That might help us in defraying some other costs, including paying for the trucks themselves. Where you might bid for sell space for like $100 a month to 6 or 7 people who could put their logos on the side of your truck, if they would be interested in doing that. So again, Mr. St. Columbia and Mr. Messina asked us to bring this to you, so we're asking for permission to do that.
That sounds great. I mean, yeah, I have to make a motion to do that.
Motion by Ms. Miller to approve advertising on the. Which,
It's the 2 new trucks, the refuge trucks is what we call them.
advertisement on the 2 refuge trucks. Is there a second? A second by Messina. Is there any discussion? What are the rates of advertising? $100 a month.
On each truck, you get $1,000 a month
Okay.
toward the payment of the truck.
Ms. Miller, would you amend your motion to include those numbers?
Yes, I'd like a motion that we advertise on the side of the refuse trucks at $100 per month. Per
Motion amended to include the amount of $100 per person. You want to amend the motion? Second by-
But we can make
Second, Mr. Messina. Discussion. Madam Clerk, please call roll.
Mr. St. Columbia.
Yes.
Yes.
Messina.
yes.
Yes.
It's not in your package laying on your desk, and I'll explain it real quickly. This is your water company collection report. You see this? Exceptional usage is across the top of it. You can do an exceptional usage report based on any number put in there. Since 1,000 gallons. This shows anybody who used 50,000 gallons or greater in water, only about the 4th line to tell you this. Just and 4th down the individual and bottom the they look like the individual. The rest of them are business people use more than 5,000 gallons. It's the same. It's a separate. And just put on. So I'm showing you. We ran that report, and 50,000 gallons. We only have a few residential people who are exceeding that. I take the 50,000 gallons has a leak. Some people argue with me about that, but I believe that's correct. The business I'm flipping to the next page. What's on at the top of that page, and again, we have 5 people in that group. Fourth one, the fifth person, skip down to the 7th, 9th person. Am I? Okay.
Yeah.
So I got a few here who are greater than their example. 6,000 gallons the month before and 53,000 gallons in the month that this. What happens? They come in and say don't have. They got high usage. We got one lady who went from 3 gallons to 50,000 a leak. $1,000 who jumped to 6 gallons. He probably has a leak. Skip down to the next one. Extreme car wash, the car wash, right? Car wash. 68,000 gallons last month, and then the next month, 130 gallons. And we'll just give you this so you kind of have some information, which is the chief and to store flapper. You don't need a plumber to put it in, but if you have plumbers that can do it, you $100 in the first month that you place those conditions. Run about 5 seconds. Running water, you think it's nothing, it's costing you. So the next page, application receipts this month. In the top left corner is water, and that was the telling them. And this month, we're at the bottom right of that report is $290,367. The next, the month before, $198,665. That's the difference so far, month over month. And so that's chiefly the impact of your new water rate. From 290, it's up to 290 from 198. That's the West Harlem side where you have more customers on the east side. It shows also the next page, the billing register summary. The name above is not important, but the billing register summary, it shows you billed $452,000 a month for collect these fees, but the collections are up. The first 2 reports I showed you actual money to the deposit. To the allocation this month, $273 compared to last $142,682, roughly $57,000. That's the rate increase. And then the billing register is the last page. That's for Helena. It shows a $430,000 bill that month. And so that's kind of a synopsis of the water. Anybody any questions about that?
So these have to do amounts like to pay that fines, fees, and also right here.
Okay, so Ms. Miller asked me about the past due amount. Would be people had paid before and those are, and those 1 month, but those are people who hadn't paid by the. And what I'm gonna try to do at one of these meetings is have these records with you all, just to give you greater enlightenment on what to do over there, what they encounter, and our customers. You're hot. All right. So, any question on the water report?
The water company takes in roughly around $400,000 every month. Is that about right?
Before the rate, similar around 360. The month we had exceeded
So after the change rate increase, $100,000, is that what you're saying?
Yes, sir. So far, got a couple of months. It may go up a little more.
So is it, about $100,000. There's a lot of money we're in, and can't pay our bills. That's what disturbs.
Well, my understanding is with the rate increase that you've done, and you've done it as I told you to do, to Resource Commission, you're in better position. You started out with better position to pay a bill than that capacity to turn over sanction fees to the general fund. So the general fund pay all the responsibilities that it has.
For the meeting about whole day we had a company of West Helena, we had a board of directors that supervised the Helena Water Company. We had millions. I can recall a lot of money in our water company consolidated. You as mayor got rid of the and what happened to all that money?
That's something you said, me and the mayor. So you go, what happened to the money? It was there when I left. Happened to, and today, I don't know.
Oh, I can federal the water and heard in case of national emergency,
Yes,
such as an earthquake or national, it's required by federal law.
Yes, sir.
That we had.
So,
I remember the Helena Water Company was ran by a board of directors, people that consider I'm going, but boy, they were careful. And had a lot of money. Helena did. That's Helena had a problem out there.
hold on a second. Hold
Let's
on.
pause for a second.
Hold on. That's recreative here.
I'm going
Something that have a problem with the reason why the commissions were just Mr. League told this body doing consolidation to get rid of the commission. Yeah, you were at the meeting when they came.
Yeah.
But we have vision on because we just engaged in a water rate study and et cetera. But we saw that other effective job will be in position. Right. Because the problem we have now is 30 years.
Okay.
I'll pass the buck around. But I can.
Boil orders after boil orders, well after well. No, and this situation had to get all this years ago. If you go out there and look at the hell what's in the wall, terrible. It's terrible. about the good old days. I don't want to go back to them days. I want to go to these days right now. We get stuff fixed.
$400,000 now.
What's $400,000?
Before we go to what the city council charge of the finances and the real property. Your project is up to you all to engage in due diligence.
Yeah.
And if there are parameters to be set, to you all to set the parameters. At least to going back in the evenings late, and y'all still got a while to do with Mr. Bohr. Also, I just want to have needs before February 1st of this year. We don't want to Pine Bluff, Jefferson County, quote-unquote. Nobody can them because if the budget's not passed, the mayor had to shut it. The county has to shut every this mayor thing down. We spend money that is not appropriate.
Hey, Andre,
Yes, sir.
I talked to one was on the Helena-West Commission, and I asked him, I said, how much do you have account? He said, I gave him that for $3 million. And where did I know?
Well,
It was over
where to
$3
go?
million.
I've said when the money in both utilities, but here's the problem: the money went. We try to look like somebody, and then the city council refused to raise the rates. It's cost to go up. Everything else cost money. Everything else costs more money, and you operate on the same pool with everything else. Say for instance, minimum wage. Minimum wage has gone up tremendously since 2000. Minimum $11 an hour, and we still had the same rates for years. The rates were raised in 2008 under Mayor Valley. They were raised again under Mayor Smith in 2018, and then they raised again this year, effective So the thing I'm saying is, has this everyone else, everyone continue. Someone misappropriated money. Said you operate off the same pool of money where everything else was going up and going up. And so the inference when we say where did the money go is implies if someone did something nefarious or someone stole something. That none of the auditors, what the auditors, the equipment is on. What the auditors showed is we need repairs. What the auditors has shown is that we have not adjusted our rates and we need to go forward. That's why the legislature stepped in. The okay, race that every year. They have to have a race. What you have to do within 1 year, pass because they took it out of the city because city councils all over the state were being very political. The city council were refusing to raise, even right now, here quivered at raising the rates. We went through this for months. When head documents raised, that's what the issue is. We don't die.
About we have out there. When it comes, we don't have to make and do. You, I well, we can change yesterday, but we can't start if we work together. If you ain't come to work, so I can see how we can move around you, because I want this city to be at the top. We're changing things, just like we're trying to get a budget passed. Right now, trying to make sure that people see the vision. It ain't about me. I mean, I learned 3 years. It wasn't. It's about something bigger. It's about trying to make a change in this community. I'm not Mr. Messina. I'm glad you're back. Welcome back, Miss Miller, Miss. Glad y'all here, but Miss Davis, Mr. Anthony, Miss St. Clement, I've worked with them before. I mean, don't let people change our agenda. Our agenda is to show people that we can handle city government and we can get things done and move in the right direction. There are more things that we need to be trying to do. I understand that we all got different agendas and people tell us, well, do this, do that. But don't let these people get you where you're sinking your community. Chief there.
If we could go to, and there's no attachment for this either, it's item 7B22. That's the street sanitation department. We got a Hernando Street ditch. And what has happened over there is we did a repair, put a new culvert in and concrete, and somewhere up the channel, there was some debris, including a big tire that got trapped into our culvert. And with the big wash of rain, it washed out the underpinning, the new dirt that was under the road. And so the road's collapsing. So we're going to need to repair that street, that ditch again. And kind of along with that, we're asking for permission to clean that same ditch from DeSoto Street across to Kelly Street. So that's from where the ditch goes under the housing authority underground, all the way across over to Kelly, which was South Ashland, to clean all of that, but to repair this bridge, what it will become a bridge on South Hernando Street, right behind what was West Side School. And it's a road that is traveled quite a bit by people who come across at the Boys and Girls Club and go to the south end of West Helena, going down to Ashler, Sam, across Russell over to Coanza, Baringo, and even South Washington. I know I saw them coming through there many times. So we need to repair it, and it's probably going to exceed $5,000. And so I'm putting this on so that we don't make the mistake again, not alerting you and asking you for your permission before we take any action. Right now, the road is blocked off. Nobody because of the concrete falling in, because there's no underpinning anymore. It washed out. And I can send you pictures of it too if you like. I got those in one of these phones. So at this point, we're asking for permission to go forward with repair that and clean it. It's two different jobs as I see it. One is repairing the ditch. We haven't yet. I want to ask for permission to start that process. I believe it'll be less than $35,000. So by state law, you won't have to bid it. We can get quotes on it because it's under 30. It should be under $35,000. Well, we can do it formal if you want, and engineer to draw specs and all of that. But the road is going to be closed all the time on that. So however you want to do it. Because the road is closed at this point. Ms. Davis. I didn't hear you.
You just need a motion to proceed.
To authorize us to proceed with these two projects. And I'll come back with more information probably Tuesday to keep you apprised to what we're doing. Okay, so that, again, we don't want to be surprised.
I'd like to make that we proceed. Sure.
Mr. Edwards.
By Ms. Miller to authorize the administration and those three. Second by, is there any further? Madam Clerk, please.
Cynthia, Messina,
Yes.
Dr. Miller, Ms. Davis. Yes. Ms. Miller.
Yes.
Mr. Etherly.
Yes.
6 yes.
All right, turning over to page 2 of the agenda. There's no document with this, but the Dodge we have sitting out at the sanitation shop. The department wants us to have repaired. It's beyond what we can. I think the police chief is walking in, but basically we asked for permission to take that vehicle to a dealer, let them tell us what it is, what it costs, and then I guess we'll come back and ask you for the money to fix it. But it's a Dodge Durango.
We have to get a, they have to go before city council?
Well, it has the potential to be more than $5,000. So right now, I don't know. Again, what we're trying to do is get ahead of, last year we had some mistakes we made, but we did it and came and asked you for forgiveness instead of permission. So in this instance, we asked for permission on the front end. Dodge Durango. Do you have an idea what's wrong with it?
Thinking in new mode.
Newer.
Yeah.
What's the year model? Year model?
I think it's 18.
18, new. Yeah, okay. It might want to look for a new vehicle. That's an 18. That's kind of.
Okay. All right, Mr. Miller, my understanding, because I've been corrected. So there was there's 2 Durangos out there.
Okay.
One of them was being driven by the battalion chief and was wrecked on South 6th Street or something.
Okay.
It has what we believe to be a good motor in it.
Okay.
So we're gonna take them both to the shop.
It's just
and
a body.
swap the motors out.
Swap the motor.
Huh? Hopefully.
Okay.
That's the goal. He didn't want that. That's what we're trying to do.
By new, yes. I make that motion.
I haven't made them. I mean, you think about eight motor, 3,000 or 4,000. That never dry if you put in motor. Well, let's get to.
So we're gonna have to tow it to Ian, I believe it is. That's what the nearest Dodge dealer. They on the same. Authorization.
I make that motion. See the quote to get Durango, possibly swap it out with the Durango that's not drivable at all.
I'll second.
Okay. Clerk?
Mr. Etherly,
Yes.
Ms. Miller,
Yes.
Ms. Davis, Dr. Miller,
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Messina,
Yes.
Mr. St. Cloud,
Yeah.
6 yes.
All right, there's on page 90 and 92, the email from Ms. Ram that essentially says that the gentleman who wants to buy an old pumper from us, and we may have delayed this before, and so, Ms. Ram may have a question.
The pumper had been used in a number of years, 74 for $100. And the fire chief is aware of the sale and he agreed with it because man is a volunteer from plumber.
Yeah, that's on page 2. The sum that Ms. Rams just gave you.
He offered us $4,500.
I don't know, but when y'all since talking about it, I asked you all, I think about all those police cars and telling us here, right, because it's so much stuff out there at the Army that we need to move. Maybe 20, 30 cars, vans, water, trucks, all, and people been asking, but I can't do anything with them, and I need you all. Huh?
Can we look as a municipality?
Yeah, we can. Been out there. police cars. I mean, and people trying to buy them.
Yeah, they
And
I think the most prudent thing is to public everything that you need to want to say in one spot, and let people bid on it, and you think all cars, trucks, and everything else that you identify to be sold, and just all at once, and just that'd be the end of it.
That's fine. But I just want to make it known.
Huh?
It's 2004 GMC.
That's what we're talking about. What about it? Well, Sam says
It was a house. All right, probably GMC.
Now, city council engaged in a public, I think you have equipment, have to go through it. The individual say, frowned upon, maybe the person, a person in the city, they be getting favorable treatment, the price, articles. And so the best to do is just out of all of you, all the police cars out there, all of them, we get.
Understanding. We don't pay for it.
Well, you can have a starting price.
We just paying it. Is that?
I mean, who else is-
Well, if he bid, he can start his bid out.
Yeah,
Highest bids.
Yeah.
Advantage, you say, they had a public offer 45. Somebody had to come above that, which is in the city. And that's public also.
I'm just saying, I'm not disputing. I'm stuff I used to try to get in the army. And it's telling employees and stuff on the yard, and we're not taking that thing.
okay, so we're gonna do it later.
we won't have nobody drive around. Police car.
Yes, sir. I'll do it. One would take that up to you, just because I think what's more important, y'all already said, let's deal with tonight. Yeah.
Other than 200 cleanup requests, that's found at payroll 7. Let's see, that's basketball held in the Phillips Community College of the University of Arkansas. The Directors of the Association awarded the Class 2A Region 3 tournament to the Boston School District and Phillips Community College of the University of Arkansas for conferences 2, 5, and 6. Those in conference 5 in our hotels. All teams correct. So one of the police of the while implement the PCC police and additional that has been played and county departments and so department appropriate. Greenhouse. We need some cooperation on that one. On Anderson, I don't know more we can get here. Conference team, the 285 come St. Joseph, Jacksonville, you know, equipment size and what. So, quite some distance and all over. I guess at this point, over 5, and if it is, I guess that was more for informational purposes. So then return back, you got the revised budget, pages 19 through 50 of this. And after that, you get the executive session that you mentioned on them.
February 26th, March the 1st.
So that gives us time to come back to ask for anything.
Tournament, right? All right, at the intersection of Drive, the barrier that's be replaced. It's been sitting like that for years.
What's
the barrier truck will fall into that big pit?
That's the state.
But they need to get the state on it.
We had talked about it.
How long have we talked?
Well, they just crack around it. So I guess
No, ain't no crack. That's a major thing.
Wait. We kind of language.
At the intersection of Battle Drive and Midland Heights.
Yeah, let this man.
If you go to the college, you'll see it.
Right there. Right. Top 9 event.
Oh,
Yeah.
And we don't need to be looking like Ned the third reader.
So, Mr. Messina, I give you Thursday and go out there and walk.
Oh,
that's not what I'm talking about. You and I will go out there, whether it's for do or the state, and if it's for us, we'll do a part. If it's just, we'll let them know.
State.
That's the state's property.
Yeah. I just want everybody to have clarity
I'll go
on
with you.
whose role it is.
Tom and I'll meet you.
Okay. And then your budget is trying to pay 19 through 52. This budget, mayor's proposal together by a series in consultation with the mayor. He sent a cover, which is included in the packet, that says that you don't spend the money last year. And that's been a negative, I guess, without thinking. So this was placed on your desk at some point, some time ago, and the city treasurer emailed it to you as well.
What I did was, like the chief of staff said, I put the budget together in consultation with the mayor. Since dictating the major changes in it, there actually aren't too many changes between this budget and last year's budget. It's pretty much a bare bones. When I say bare bones, I mean there's police car payment, field equipment, office supplies, utilities,
water,
things of that nature. The things that I highlighted, the first thing I highlighted was that I did include the $3 million sale of the hospital but that money wasn't actually budgeted. I included the revenue, but if you'll notice in your budget that it has the budget plus $3,140,000. So without that $3 million, we have a budget surplus of $140,000 without the $3 million. And with a budget surplus of $180,000. So the surplus is a little lower than last year's surplus, but you also have to take into consideration that even though it's about $40,000 for the surplus, we also have about $175,000 in debt service that was added, which is the sanitation equipment. The sanitation equipment costs a little over $800,000, and the annual debt service for principal and interest comes out to around $175,000 a year. So with that increase of $175,000 to the budget, we still only decreased that surplus by $40,000. And this surplus, this budget also includes the $75,000 for demolition, which has been in there, I think, for the last 3 or 4 years, and we've started to pick that up. One, I know that's a thing that Ms. Davis always wants in there. So we actually been using the demolition budget quite a bit lately. And I know some of you guys had some concerns about contract labor.
We've spent money on contract.
Yes, sir. So in the one thing about the contract labor, in the street fund, so the grass cutting was attributed to street fund. It shouldn't have been. State law has to
we actually they're about just in contract labor.
Okay, so with the most of it is equipment rental that was for the landfill. Most of that was for equipment rental for landfill, which the city council approved, and we're no longer. The landfill has its own equipment now, so they are no longer renting equipment. But to the general fund for sanitation. It was moved to sanitation instead of. And there were some. The mayor told me has started to have some attrition in payroll. Some of the positions in that people have left or been. He doesn't have any plans on for those positions. And we have a position in deputies won't be returned, and that is taken out of the budget, but that was among some employees and admin that have been those responsibilities. 70 increase in debt service, and the decrease in street fund for the contract labor. Still, $4,000. Yeah. Another key item is that we'll be able to draw down on the COPS grant. We got that grant, I think, 2019, and we had some issues with it. I think when the chief of staff left at 2019, we stopped reporting and drawing the money down. But we got that situation, again, with the help of Ms. Mills, we got that situation rectified. And so we'll be able to be drawing down on that COPS grant. It's reimbursement. So the money that we already spent in 2020, well, I think 2021, 21, 22, and 23, we'll be able to all of that money. And that grant doesn't end until, I think, 2026. So that'll be a big help to revenues in the general fund. And with the increase in water rates, water and sewer rates, that has allowed the water department to start not paying us, but remitting the sanitation fees to the general fund in full, instead of keeping some to help them pay their bills, then send them express. So they've begun us what they owe us starting in January. And I spoke with the payables clerk and the water department, and her intent is to pay us because of claim what she owes us in sanitation fees when they're supposed to come in. I think sometime in the middle of the month, and then when possible, she'll begin to pay down the remaining amount that daughter owes us. I think that's around $500,000. So I'm thinking we should get the sanitation fees and the current fees, probably about $1,000 a month, and past due sanitation fees. And I do have faith that I believe we've had a couple of meetings with Quentin and his guys have come down. I think the last time was late in the fall of last year, and I feel pretty confident that this is something that they really want to do. And hopefully, hopefully it'll go through on Friday, but I'm pretty sure it will. But like I said before, we haven't included that in projections, but I am projecting a surplus of about $40,000. That's the.
You know, I've asked for several times a workshop, but
You can schedule the workshop.
Huh?
You can schedule the city council can schedule the workshop anytime they want.
we need to have some workshops going and look at these things. You know, millions of dollars. And this lady has a hard time and meeting payroll and all. I wonder sometimes, where is all this money going? I said, we're gonna get $100,000 in the water company, and we're gonna have more money coming in, and it's putting a strain it has in the past. I just wonder about some of this, where we deal with all these millions and can't pay our bills.
Well, I want to say this.
Oh, you're gonna have an answer, I'm sure.
No, I mean, but
Not anybody wrong.
let me help you out.
You want to help me out?
Because what I want you to understand is that you all want, it's fine. I get tired of us going. You started going back. See what you're doing. I think you at some point, I know you want to be the Chris Franklin that I used to be on city council. It's too hard to be that. Let's be this. The document is here. Adopt if you want it. It don't. But I'm tired of the thing that y'all gonna do is run people away from. Stop hollering about we broke. Which we're doing better. Paying $46,000 a month for somebody else picking up our trash. We've done away with that.
We're contracting.
But you're saying that, but we have no. When I hear.
We gave you the equipment.
No, I just begged with the landfill. Every piece of equipment we got, Miller kept saying, why are we renting? Why are we renting? Am I correct, Ms. Miller? Why are we renting? But we had two of those articulated trucks. We could have gotten for cheaper, but we rented these articulated trucks. When they got we can wait. We waited, and the deals we had in the garbage, we lost. Now that when it got so overwhelming, that you want to grandstand now. Grandstand when I came before and the water in the toilet, the garbage was in the toilet. I'm sometimes saying that we can't pay our bills. Well, that's the main thing. Now since sitting here, no sir. Let's go back to we went with the garbage trucks when we paid $75,000 And I told y'all we shouldn't have bought it. And now here we are. We're hold people accountable. I want to see this done. Everything y'all ask me, I've done it. With your whole hands, I've done it. And you always talking about contracts. You gotta don't nobody come here to. So I'm not gonna get it in. I can answer this. We paid almost $300,000 for somebody to pick up our trash, and we could pay for a truck. But you want to always cast the blame on the old Helena. We had this. What about now? We can't change what happened in the old Helena. Let's do something now. You got the trucks. Let's see. I mean, it kind of bothers me.
2 weeks ago, we gave you the trucks.
But when
finish talking, because I have something I want to say.
When we didn't have the trucks, and Miss Miller kept saying, "Well, paid $4,000 for a truck, get it went up." And I ain't gonna ask because you want $54,000. Time something happens, we spend. You heard about the city campaign. We spend big money on big ticket items. We don't have little small items. We running that business, commercial garbage, residential garbage. How we some garbage? That's how since we try to be financially stable, that we can do different things instead of trying to come and get a punch and a clap on Facebook. It ain't about that no more. It's trying to move Helena forward. If time we come around a punch and a check, let's check and make sure that water is net, sanitation off net. The between more that you brought, we're better off. All is we have to. I'm tired. We can't. We get to can.
And this might be a legal. Is there possibly? I mean, I just on first blush. To be honest with you, this is my first time looking at the budget. I don't know where. But everything's been pretty solid and conservative. My only request is there, you know, to look at.
No, we have to pass the budget by midnight on Saturday. I won't be here on Saturday, so y'all don't need me. We got tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday. If you want to meet, call out the times. I'll be here. I won't be here. City attorney will speak.
February 1st.
And Mr. Miller, to what, like I said before, there's nothing different.
That's what I'm saying.
Light bill, gas bill,
If you find this,
fuel.
we can go ahead and make the motion. We can go ahead and get this done with. You find anything.
Well, I mean, yeah.
But those
I'm
salaries
kinda
are,
like,
but they
But
a you know, turning and that income, I mean, that salary was used to their primary.
big, but I mean, it's fine. I don't really see that you took that one and you divided it. You said all the people that are in that office,
Yes.
just to, because you're taking over.
And the people in the water are on some duty simply because the workload is increased simply because of the pay increases and still leaks pop all over. According to how the increases are coming. Water. And so on the general fund side, those will be covered by, that one position. We probably won't do, but I like the $25,000 an hour. I don't think we didn't use any of the.
Just for people listening, I don't know you get water increases, but you get sanitation.
Water.
But as a board, we want to vote for it now or have a meeting in a couple of days from now? Or?
If we vote for it now, I mean, and we need to go back and tweak a thing, say in a couple of weeks, we can do that.
You sure can.
A budget is a working document. You can
Okay,
amend it.
then I make a motion that we approve this budget.
Ms. Miller makes the motion to approve the budget that was presented. Miller second motion to approve the budget.
We're approving budget?
Yes, sir.
So y'all give us more time. Give us more time. We give it time.
We
In the future?
Yeah. Let's look at the budget like at the end of December.
Because the numbers are not
Here
going
to
to,
last.
you pretty much know your numbers,
Yeah.
right? Because you got to put the initial.
But I mean, you get it in December.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Oh, here.
Last year.
Can we carry over?
You're already February first.
I guess we can.
All of the budget just for,
The motion is to approve this, it's in the packet.
that was the motion.
I'm gonna approve it.
Madam Clerk, you call the roll?
Mr. Messina,
No.
Ms. Davis? Was that, ma'am? No. Mr. Etherly?
No.
Ms. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Santalonia?
No.
Dr. Miller? I have 4 no's and 2 yeses.
Just remember, as I said, on or before February 1st at 11:59 p.m.
So
We have to have a budget.
So what do we want to do now? Do we want to meet tomorrow or Friday? Tomorrow. Okay, let's meet tomorrow.
earlier.
What, you?
I won't be available tomorrow.
What time?
What time tomorrow?
Up to you. I'm
Y'all meet at 5? Can you meet tomorrow?
What time?
5 tomorrow?
Schedule all of the meetings now. You're gonna meet on Wednesday, Thursday. You wanna try to pass it on Friday? You want on Saturday? Whatever you wanna do. Just lay it out, lay it out right now.
be here.
Huh?
I understand. I won't be here.
Well, I think it's time to go ahead and decide. It's gonna be 5. I guess tomorrow y'all decide whatever you're gonna do. So, this acclamation of you all just that we're gonna meet.
Yes, sir.
The following issues, Mr. Marcus Bourne, council as the employee. It is executive session, right? The only person being in executive session is the city council, his direct supervisor, employee. To it. The executive session regarding hiring, firing, promotion, and demotion. Mr. Bourne. Has to make a motion to go to session. And you have discussed that out, you make a term, make a statement. What
Let's go to the session. from Mr. Marcus Brown. Is there a second?
Second.
Mrs. Miller, second the motion. Now,
Yes.
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 Time is now 8:36. You are moving to executive session. Actually, everyone who is not part of the mayor or city council to exit the room.
Yes, sir. The motion that we, Warren back as an employee to Helena.
Mr. Miller moving back employee is there. Second.
Second.
Second the motion. Any discussion? Madam, please call the roll.
For clarity, you were determining.
That's correct.
So
Yeah, we have the so you know, reinstated as a fire chief. That's such a mayor's discretion.
Back in the motion, was to authorize and bring back as an employee, and then with the mayor discretion as position. Okay. Mr. Ms. Miller, Ms. Davis, Ms. Miller. I have 4 yeses, 2 abstentions. Motion to adjourn.
We adjourn.